Hey friends, Stephen Michael Miller here, and we're here today to talk about buying real estate in the UK. So if you're from the UK, then tune in, and if you're not from the UK or maybe wanted to buy some real estate in the UK, tune in. And if you have no interest in either of those things, tune in, because we're going to be talking about some basic principles as well in regards to buying real estate in areas that you live in, but I am going to be focusing a little bit here on the UK. So first things first, if you want to do real estate in the UK, what do you do? What are some of the first steps that you can take? And I will tell you first off, I've never done real estate in the UK. I've got a lot of individuals that have been asking though what they can do as some of their first steps. So as a real estate expert, I decided to dive in a little bit, dig in, and figure out what I could figure out for you to help you out in your real estate journey here in the UK. So I'm going to one of my favorite resources here, the wonderful World Wide Web. I've gone on to google.com, and if you type in UK real estate trends into the search bar, as a matter of fact, you can type in anything you want to, UK real estate markets, UK real estate 2018. There's a lot of different things that you can type in, or if you've got a specific city that you live in, type in that city with some of those other things as well, and just see what comes up. I went in here, I pulled up a few different things, and I'm starting to get a little bit of an idea as to what's going on in the UK marketplace. I know that there's some uncertainty right now because of Brexit, different laws being enforced and enacted, and some changes that are happening also with some tax laws. I'm going to talk about a little bit about that. So before you ever get in and do anything, make sure that you've done a little bit of research. Now, I don't want you to get into a paralyzed state where all you're doing is researching, right? That's not the goal here. The goal here is to do enough research so that you can have a level of confidence to take some of those first steps. This doesn't mean that you're diving all in and doing everything right, as fast as you possibly can, but you do want to do enough research to take some confident steps forward. So I've done some research here, and I want to help you understand kind of what I've looked through. First of all, I want to go into an article that I found here. This is on moneyweek.com, and it talks about how a lot of people are blaming Brexit for the UK housing market being fragile. There's other articles that I've found that have said, hey, don't expect necessarily an economic boom in the real estate marketplace. Don't also expect a massive crash. Probably neither of those things are going to be happening here in 2018 or even necessarily 2019 for that matter. But it's good to understand kind of what's happening, what's going on. There is a little bit of an exodus that's happening right now in the landlord arena. As a matter of fact, landlords are beginning to feel they're being squeezed a little bit. They're feeling this squeeze from a number of different areas right now. One is something that's happening right now, and I'm kind of reading from this article right now. You can see it says, but more important is the ability for higher rate taxpayers to offset their mortgage interest payments against their tax bills. This is being withdrawn in stages. The squeeze began last year, and it will be entirely withdrawn in April 2020. In other words, if you're a landlord and you've been offsetting some of your income tax with the ability to write off that interest, on the mortgage interest or different things like that, that's no longer going to be allowed. That's actually going completely away by 2020. That's a big deal. I know in America, investors here in America love the ability to write off that interest that you're paying towards that mortgage fee. This is often called buy to let or being a landlord, right? A buy to let. So you buy it with the purpose of renting it out or letting that property out to other people. And that tax benefit looks like is going away here in the UK. That's one reason why a lot of people are getting out of the real estate market, I think, right now in the UK. And they also mentioned, they said this is one thing that's going to keep those accidental landlords maybe out of the marketplace, right? Someone who bought a property maybe as a short term, or maybe they had a property that they were moving to a new one and they became an accidental landlord. That's probably going to happen less and less and less as people begin to reconcile their tax bills. As the end of the year comes and they have to do taxes, there are going to probably be a lot more people that are going to be jumping out because it's just not worth it to them anymore because of some of that squeeze. So that's one thing that's happening. Just to help you understand kind of what we're talking about, the scale of what we're talking about, this isn't necessarily the biggest thing in the world, but it is significant enough to take a look at. It says here, last year, according to a state agency countrywide, landlords bought 12.5% of homes sold in the UK. This is a 9-year low compared to 14.7% in 2016, and 16.3% in 2015. So this is one of the biggest drops that we've seen. And because of this, a lot of people are starting to buy homes cash. Now, the reality for a lot of landlords is they can't afford to just buy homes cash, right? And so if you're looking to get a mortgage on a property, but we're counting on being able to write off that mortgage interest, that may keep you out of the game now. So just something to be aware of. The abolition of tax relief isn't the only thing. It says it right here. Buy-to-let mortgages are typically also interest-only loans. In the UK, we've seen a gradual increase in interest rates, and this is something that they're expecting to continue. So if interest rates increase and you've been getting these interest-only loans and writing off the taxes on those, and those are going to be going away, or at least the ability to write off those taxes, those interest rates keep growing, then your rate, if you're getting an interest-only loan, is going to be growing proportionally to that interest growth. If you had a normal loan, then it's offset a little bit by the principal that you're paying, right? It doesn't grow in proportion. That also is going to put a massive squeeze on landlords in the UK. Another reason why maybe you're looking to invest other places, or just something to be aware of as you're looking maybe also to invest in the UK. So those are really some of the two major things that I've seen. I know that a lot of people, there's a lot of buzz around Brexit for a number of different reasons. A lot of people are putting a lot of blame on Brexit for the real estate market and the economic market and different things that are happening there. But according to this site, they're saying, hey, let's stop blaming Brexit for everything and let's look at actually what's happening. Those two things that I just mentioned, the rise in interest rates as well as the inability to write off your mortgage or interests, your interest payment, are two reasons that are keeping people, or that may keep people, out of the interest or out of the real estate game in the UK. So as I looked at that, then I thought to myself, okay, well, what would I want to do? I mean, if I've got capital in the UK and I want to invest in real estate, how do I get into the real estate game? And one of the things I want to help everyone understand is that the real estate game isn't just a local game anymore. We live in a global economy. We have access to more information, more resources, more people, more expertise than we've ever had access to in our entire world, in our entire lifetime, and before. So we're in a day and age where this access is made way more possible. My recommendation to you is, if you're looking at getting into real estate and the UK is not your best option right now for whatever reason, then start looking into other markets. I may be partial to the US because we've done a lot of real estate here in the US, but the reality is the US market is a great market to do real estate in. The laws are such in specific areas, in the areas that we go and we invest in, the laws are such that they're very landlord friendly. They help entrepreneurs and landlords build portfolios. They actually incentivize you to do so. And so there's a lot of benefit to buying homes, buying residential real estate in the US. If that's something that intrigues you, if that's something that you're interested in, my recommendation would be reach out to us and see what we can do to help you out. But no matter what your next step is, my recommendation is to do some research, get to work, take some action, and start doing real estate.